Welcome back to another video. I know I've been slacking on the Apex content lately, but just to keep it real with you, it's hard to make Apex content when everything has already been done by majority of the community before, except this. Today I'll be starting off a series called Analyzing Players, whether it be content creators or pro players, and try to highlight what they do to stay on top of others in game. Today I'll start this off with one of, if not the best Wattson player in Apex, Lamic. Lamic is a Wattson player and an ex-pro player for Glitch Gaming. He creates content on YouTube and on TikTok. I'll leave all his links down below. But what is it that sets Lamic apart from the other 12 Wattson mains? There are 3 points I'd like to highlight after watching his gameplay, and I'll start off with the first point, his understanding of Wattson. Lamic completely understands Wattson as a legend, their playing style and their counters. I've said this in multiple videos, that if you're going to main a legend, you need to understand them to the best of your ability. If you watch Lamic's gameplay as highlighted here, you will see him playing around or in a building. Why? The main fact is that Wattson's kit is best suited for buildings. Their fences block off certain areas of the building which are only accessible to you and your teammates. Playing in buildings as a Wattson is one of the best things you can do, since that your fences can easily be placed to restrict certain areas and stop enemy advances. Playing Wattson out in the open can be good or bad. It all depends on the situation that you are in, because Wattson is really strong in the end game situations. It just all depends on where the circle is closing. But your best bet with Wattson is playing in a building or around a building, where you can play to the terrain of the respective map and try to strengthen the natural terrain with your fences. The second thing I'd like to highlight about Lamic is his fences. The first part is his fence placement. The main part of Wattson's kit is their electric fences, which restrict access points, but getting creative with these fences is where you come in, and Lamic is a master at this. One simple thing he does, which most Wattson players fail to do, is to use 3 fence nodes instead of 2. When building a simple fence, the natural thing to do on Wattson is to use 2 fence nodes instead of 3. It just seems like the natural thing to do. Placing 3 fences instead of 2 will most times ensure that you always have an extra node when the enemy destroy only one node that make up the fence. You can always magically pull a fence out of thin air with this trick, and it's a thing I noticed that he does most times if he has the space for the setup. The second thing is that he always keeps a subconscious note of how many fence nodes he has available or on cooldown, so that he doesn't have to wait for a node to be placed or die because he doesn't have a fence node charged, which is also why he uses 3 fence nodes instead of 2, so that when his fence nodes are on cooldown, as soon as he gets one charge, he can connect that node to either of the 2 available fence nodes. The next thing he always does, and this is his specialty, the Lamic. What's that? He puts a fence node outside the door to eventually use it through the door to catch his enemy off guard. This is a common Wattson move, which other people have been doing with Wattson for a long time, but Lamic has perfected it. He doesn't just place it obvious and directly in front of the door. Sometimes you place it at an angle a good distance away from the door, in grass or natural terrain near the door, which always catches players off guard because you won't see the node initially because it isn't where you expect it to be. Third thing about his fences are the speed and accuracy of his fence placement. This is key to his overall Wattson play. Even when you see him just flicking around his Wattson fences in a hurry or at a great speed, the fences are always placed accurately to cut off enemy advances onto him. This comes with a lot of time and practice on Wattson pull this off. Since that you have to accurately predict enemy path towards you, you place the second node considerable distance away from the first one, and whatever after that is just rinse and repeat. The final thing that he does is movement. Yes, movement. The thing that all Apex players love, very niche and common thing to see Apex players doing on PC. But with him being on Wattson, he has to incorporate movement into his playing style, because that is the only form of escapability that he has. Unlike Wraith, Octane, Horizon or Valk, who all have passive or tactical abilities that incorporate some type of escapability, Wattson doesn't. So he has to rely on his movement to get away from enemies, and also use his movement to get better angles and vantage points on enemies.